This is stupid to bring up, but I have to bring it up. Did you know that yesterday I couldn't figure out? And it's still stupid because you're talking about like babies and stuff, and I'm gonna tell you about like how I put. Yeah, literally, I'm gonna tell you about cup. But yesterday, I it really was actually. I kind of felt stupid 7-Eleven, but I put a lid on my cup, and I didn't realize it was two lids stuck together. And like it kept popping up, and I felt like a cartoon character, when like they close like a lid or something, and the lid pops open again. They keep trying to close it. Well, I was pushing down, the lid was popping up to the left, the right, the up, the back, and I finally got it all on. And I came home to finally like have that sip of coffee, and I popped open this top part. You should see my reaction. I was like, "Why is it white?" I couldn't figure it out. I was like, "What did I do?" And then I realized I just squished two lids. What did I do? And I just realized, I had two lids on my coffee cup.
That's a real fascinating story.
Okay, when's the last time you put two lids on? Did you realize? Exactly. That's why it's a good story. So you go to self-serve checkout. So what's the difference there? I know. I get so mad people do that shit. It's not worth that job. Oh my god, it really is. I can't get my puffer out. Okay, I'm kind of breathing. I know. This is like the tradition now. I'm just taking my puffer every time I do anything on stream. Maybe. I should stop boring them for my mother too. Get my own prescription. Hi Marie, how's it going? Shay and I are just rambling on. No, because I don't remember how they go now. Phonetic?
Phonetic.
Oh, phonetic.
Yeah.
That means C for Charlie.
Yeah.
I now know what phonetic it means. What's the other fancy word you had?
Not fancy. Uruguay.
Uruguay?
Yeah.
What's that? A place?
Yes. But normally, like, when people say, like, you, it'll be like, you for uniform or you for umbrella.
I understand it's military talk.
This guy was like, you for Uruguay. And I was like, that's new.
I've never once in my life heard anyone use the fancy term you just said. What was it again? I forgot already.
Phonetic.
I want to say Vicincy. I don't even know why. But, okay, so phonetic. With a V. With an F.
With a PH.
With a PH! Phonetic. Okay, nice. I'll just drop that one day and see who catches on in my work.
I bet you so many people would get it. Like, I even knew what it meant before I started this job. And they're like, we do a phonetic.
But then that one person does it, I'll be like, right on, buddy. Right here.
Because when we first started, they're like, and do you know, like, a little bit of, like, the phonetic alphabet? And I was like, yeah. Thanks to whatever.
Well, yeah, like, it's a big organization. It makes sense they would. But, like, if you and your buddy were talking, you would be like, hey, do you want to hear about the phonetic?
Well, nobody just, like, casually talks about the phonetic alphabet. And I'm just saying, like, in my interview, they asked me if I knew what that was.
Yeah, that's that makes sense, because that's a big company.
If somebody were to ask you that, you would have been like, what?
And then they would have said, like, C for Charlie. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, military talk. Nice.
Thoughts on the incumbent in this election?
On the what?
The incumbent.
What are you doing using your big school words? Just use normal people words and I'll understand what you're talking about.
So, hi there, ho there, everybody. It's Mindfulpig here. This is the Two Tired Dudes podcast. It's not Mindful Learns Words for the first time in this podcast. On this episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite horror games and horror movies. It's a big one. It's definitely a big one. Hopefully, Duloc will hop on at one point, because from what I hear, he's going to be the guest of honor pretty much today. Is it Dulac or Duloc? Well, I'm gonna pretend I'm fancy, and I.
And you walk into the Shrek.
Oh, that is Shrek's character, right?
It's not a character, it's the town with him. In
Is
the
it?
first one.
What's the guy's name again? Like the king in that town.
Farquaad.
Farquaad. That's what it is. Farquaad. He's just like idiot. uh, but yeah. So hopefully he shows his face at one point, because I'm excited to hear his fascination in the horror genre. But I did have a whole bunch of stuff to read out because we got people from all over that are basically shouting out stuff. So we're gonna do Discord first because Discord people deserve to be shouted out first. Mamma mia, where did I put it? There it is.
See that Oculus One last week?
What's that? Oh, nice. Fuzzy socks. What do you talk about? I am in here. Maria, I'm so confused. Oh, he's typing. Never mind. Okay. No, he's not in there yet. Okay. Oh, hey, Marie.
I don't know what he's doing.
I was so confused. I was like, what does he mean I'm not live? I am live. Snap, let me load that in. Okay. Okay, so let's see if I missed anyone that won't be on the podcast.
He's having a moment.
Just a technical difficulty. There we go.
Hello?
Yeah, it's working. It's working, buddy. I can hear you.
Hello. I
What's
found
up?
him.
I just want to say that Discord never told me she was in this basement banter. I just thought,
That's so weird that it didn't show. Because, yeah, I think I went live a few minutes ago. What has it been? 8
all right,
minutes?
it's
Yeah.
all right.
So, how are you guys doing, though?
It's good. It was a pretty boring day at work. Happy it's over, so glad to be home.
Right on, right on.
It's been okay. I'm excited for Halloween.
Yeah, I think there's like a delay with my stuff.
I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter lately.
Yeah, there must be. Am I super delayed? I'm so sorry, guys. Marie or Dulac, sorry. It just seems like I don't know. Are you guys able to say something right now just to see if the audio is caught up? Okay.
Well, it was my work computer actually just kind of crashed, so unfortunately it's out until probably next week. But just a heads up, am I coming through okay? Because everybody's like crazy garbled.
Yeah, no, you're coming through fine. It's like literally the longest delay. Like it must be like a 2 minute difference between the both of us right now when we're talking.
Okay, so when I listen on Discord, it sounds garbled, but if I listen on Twitch, it sounds great.
Yeah, right? Okay. That's so weird.
I think our house is just cursed.
Okay, well, it seems like we're kind of on the same path here now, Maria. It seems like we're talking the same time. Monster Hunter is super cool, by the way. Sorry to get a chance to comment on that one. I definitely want to try out the newer ones. The last time I played it was like on the Wii.
Yeah, so it is 8:19 here, and I'm gonna say some things, and I think the delay is really, really bad. So I'm gonna pop off and pop back on.
Okay. Okay, well, they're getting that all sorted out. Sorry, I'm going to finish up Cheyenne's comment, and I got Z-Chicks. So Cheyenne's movies that showed up was Terrifier, The Exorcist, House of a Thousand Corpses, just X, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Evil Dead, House on Haunted Hill, and The Cell. The Cell was a great show. That was a good one. And then we had Z-Chicks. Let me just quickly pull hers up. How do I make this work again? Here, you know what? I'll just go to YouTube Studio because that's so much easier to find a comment. Okay, so Z-Chicks was the Dark Picture Anthology games. For movies, it was Insidious. Drag Me to Hell, she picked, Amityville, and the Exorcist movie. So 2 for Exorcist so far. Amityville is a good one too. I kind of forgot about that. Ryan Reynolds is a hunk in that one. Okay, so my 2 wonderful people are back. Is it good now? Are we kind of on the same page for timing?
Sounds good. I don't know if I'm coming through well, but it sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, you guys sounded great to begin with. It was just the timing, like we were saying. But it seems like it's not too bad right now. Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna make the best of a bad situation then. Duloc, well, you're kind of figuring that out. Besides, I think you have the kind of bigger run through of everything. Marie, if you don't mind, do you want to go ahead and shout out some of your favorite horror games or horror movies that you watched? By all means, go to town on it. Like, I just want you guys to kind of have a moment to just shout out some things that you're really passionate about. We all have that one favorite movie, right, that we go nuts for, or that one favorite game that might be horror related. So yeah, by all means, just go to town, shout her out. Oh yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
It's so bad. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Oh, it's no worries. Like, it's sometimes even just Discord, right? It can just act up. Are you both okay now, though?
How about now? Anybody?
Yeah. No, yours is coming through really clear, Duloc. Hopefully Marie's is working out now.
Maybe.
Duloc, can you hear me? Oh, damn. Okay, here. You both...
Is mine coming through at all by chance?
Yeah, yours is coming
I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you not hear us? Oh, damn. Okay, that's...
Okay, well, I'm going to pop off and talk in chat if that's cool.
Yeah, of course, Marie, no problem. Sorry about this. Here, Duloc, why don't I try? I'll see if I disconnect and reconnect, if that helps you out. Because I'm the only one so far that hasn't done it. Okay, did that make any difference?
Oh, I can hear Marie.
Okay.
Cannot hear mine.
Okay, I can hear you both. Can you guys hear me? Hey, Django.
Awesome.
Hey! There we go.
It's working? All right.
Yes.
Woo! We figured it out. See? We're technology smart, god damn it. Yeah, Django, it is alive. Restream is just the program.
We're in.
Sorry. So yeah, Marie, if you're able to, I was just gonna say you can totally take the floor and talk about whatever horror games or movies you wanted to.
Okay, well, I could throw back to childhood for a moment. I used to always read Goosebumps books, and Goosebumps books weren't scary, but I always felt like they were scary because there was a theme of not being believed when something happened to you. And Duloc and I watched Smile a while back, and I felt a lot of nostalgia from that because the whole movie, you're wondering if this lady is actually crazy or if she is just experiencing these horrible, demonic visions and not being believed by anybody around her. Nobody else can see them. And it was not the best movie I've ever seen, but it was a really cool movie just because of that. And I think the element of not being believed when something horrible is happening to you really made it a great scary movie for me. So that's one I've enjoyed recently.
I'm so glad you brought up Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, Smile was a really good time. No, I mean, not only was the concept, like you said, the alienating. Oh, you're fine. I jumped in there. Go ahead.
No, it's okay, Dulac. It's literally just the time delay between us. All I was gonna say is that I love Goosebumps. I grew up as a kid. That was like a huge part of like the book fair event. I used to love collecting those books so much. My mom pretty much went bankrupt trying to get me all of them. But no, yeah, go ahead, my dude.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, yeah, Smile was a really good time because not only was it really alienating, but it showed a lot about how trauma is almost kind of like a disease, how you spread it to others. It was a really good take on a monster movie. And I know that sounds weird, but looking at trauma like a personification of a monster was very good movie. Highly recommend.
Okay, if I remember correctly, because you guys say the movie Smile, that was the one where like, okay, I didn't get to see it myself, right? But I do remember the trailer. It was like basically like people just like had this like creepy ass smile on their face. Um, but the one fact I do know about that movie is that when they did the advertising for it, they actually had people like in sports events just like kind of stand in the crowd and just have this like scary fucking smile on their face, just to promote the movie, and all they had was a T-shirt on that said "Smile," which I thought was the coolest way to like advertise an upcoming movie coming out. Like you could do that with a lot of other movies, but like it
That is
worked well
cool.
for that one. Yeah, that was dope. If I ever find some YouTube clips, I'll post them on there afterwards to show you guys. It was really cool. That was a really neat way. Nice shows, Marie. Like that was some. I like that. That's some left field stuff there. Hey Django. um, yeah. So Duloc, this was kind of your night, my man. You're like the guest.
I'm hearing double for some reason.
Are you okay? Yeah. See what I mean? Like there is a little bit of a delay. I said it's whatever. It might be Discord. It's my fun editing later on. So, um, but yeah, Duloc, like I said, you kind of are like the guest of honor here because it sounds like you got some big horror history in your background. So
Let me try something real quick too.
sure, of course, buddy. Yeah, when you're able to though, when you come back, I'd love to hear what's your favorite horror movie or games. Okay, everything's fine for everybody. We can all hear each other now. Django, yours is fine. You already said. Duloc, yours is okay.
It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was for sure.
Okay. So maybe that was it. Maybe just Restream was acting up.
What'd you guys do?
All I did was Restream crash and I had to refresh Restream. So maybe that made a little bit of a difference. Sure. It's weird because usually it's always fine on that program, but I have to keep it on this one website right now. Otherwise, it'll keep crashing. Thanks, Tommy. You funny guy. But Duloc for you it was most important. Is it working on your end now?
I mean, when it comes to horror movies, for me, I've always been a big fan of Halloween, the Halloween series, but obviously the first one's one of the best. Um, One of the scariest movies I personally ever saw was when I was a kid, and that was Pet Cemetery. To this day, more than 40 years later, I will not watch Pet Cemetery.
What was it about Pet Cemetery that got to you?
Just the dead animals coming back to life and terrorizing the families. I don't know. Living right outside of a pet graveyard. It's just a very creepy Stephen King movie, and I just can't do it.
And then on the other side of the fence, was there any horror games you played, Django?
Oh, no, I'm with you on that one.
Horror game, too many. Clock Tower, Resident Evil, Silent Hill.
Yeah, I was gonna say with your PlayStation background, I was like, I was pretty confident you were gonna shout out Resident Evil or at least Silent Hill. That's the next one I want to try out. I haven't tried any Silent Hill game out yet.
Really? Yeah, they recently remastered some of the at least one of the Resident Evils for sure got remastered really recently.
Before I miss out on them, Tommy here shouted out. The first couple Halloween movies are classics. It went downhill from there, though. Funny enough, Halloween 2 was supposed to be the last one, and then they made like 13 more. I didn't know that. That's really neat, Tommy. Thanks for sharing that one. And then Marie just quickly shouted out. One time I walked in on my parents watching Poltergeist, specifically the part where the guy peels his face off. Oh my god, yeah, that would be fucking shocking at a young age to see. That's a good movie though. And then Tommy again was just saying that he likes Friday the 13th, both movies and the game. Yeah, you were a big fan of the game, Tommy. I do remember that. Duloc, if yours is working fine now, by all means,
I just wanted to jump in here real quick for Django there.
Yeah, of course.
The delay is ridiculous. But I was going to say that I second that on Halloween. Actually, Halloween 1 is my all-time favorite classic horror film. It is a perfect slasher.
You know, I think I still have to see the older.
Yeah,
one.
I can't really hear much of shit.
Yeah, sorry guys, I do apologize. I
I
don't know.
don't know if it's me or what, but it's I mean, if I listen to you guys on Discord, it's wild.
It's crazy though. Like if
I
I,
want to pop off and just use the chat if that's fine.
yeah, totally fine, Duloc. It's crazy though. When I listen to it on Twitch, it's all fine. Like everyone's voices come through perfectly. Like okay, so I don't know why they're so. Yeah, damn. I don't understand why it's so messed up like that.
I mean, you're probably right. It probably is something with Discord. So have you like made sure that you shut down Discord fully?
No, actually, I could do that. Here, let me.
Like not only X out of it, but what I would do is I would X out of it, but then look in your system tray for the Discord icon, and then make sure that you have the quit Discord clicked on, so it shuts down out of your system tray, and then maybe relaunch it.
Okay. Just for the record, though, I use it on the
Just to make
browser.
sure that you absolutely killed it.
Yeah, I use it on the browser tab though, so mine isn't even on app. It's just on the browser tab itself. That's how I can stream it on Restream. But I will completely X out of that, and I'll jump back into it. If you guys, sorry, all don't mind. Mindful's just fucking killing it today. Let me tell you. Best conversation we could ever have, and I can't even get Discord to work. Okay, I'm gonna assume there's no delay right now. So please, I've been waiting, Duloc. I just go ahead, buddy. You have the floor. We won't say anything. You just talk for as long as you want, and then once you've set out your favorite horror movies or games, whatever it was you wanted to talk about passionately, then we'll add on our comments afterwards. I'm gonna mute my mic now. You go to town, my man.
All right, I hope these do come through without the delay. But I did watch one recently that I think is it's real top tier, and not so much from the as a classic horror, but more like so it's called They Look Like People, and it is it's the best portrayal of a descent into a schizophrenic break that I have ever seen. The whole premise of it is this guy ends up on his best friend's, like childhood best friend's couch, and the childhood best friend has his own issues, right? Like he's extremely, what's the term? He has no confidence, right? So he listens to motivational speeches in his headset like every day, right? And what it ends up doing is it kind of gives him this sort of I'm this alpha male mentality, right? At the same time that he's listening to all of this, as you start to hear these motivational speeches, the movie lies to you. What you hear is not what shows up in the subtitles, or vice versa. You hear something, it's wild how it plays with your perception of what's actually happening on the screen. And then as you go through it with the main character, you start to get the idea that there are these beings that look like they're human, but they aren't. They're these ancient, sort of almost demonic force, and he is one of the blessed that gets to, fight against them. And of course, the only way to kill them is to burn them out with hydrochloric acid or cut them into pieces. And this is what he starts to plan. But at the same time, he is integrating himself back into his friend's life. He starts to have these really great moments where he remembers what it's like to be a person again. Because as you go through the whole thing, you realize that he's done awful stuff in this disease, and none of it's real. And it culminates in this horrible moment of how far are you willing to go for your friend? And I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's a wonderful look at not only the spiral into madness, but also how important friendship can become, especially when you feel like you have nobody in the world. It is just a great psychological film. Highly recommend it. You can find it on Tubi. It's free.
I was gonna say, okay, so just hearing all that, I have an idea in my head what you might look for, but I gotta ask that when it comes to horror movies or thrillers, I mean, I count all that kind of stuff under that same genre. But like, what do you look for, Dulac, then when you're looking for a horror movie, or what's been some of your favorites? That you've enjoyed, like for whatever reason, story wise or cinematics, or the idea behind the element of horror in that movie. Like, what do you look for in those?
I would say like when I look for a film that I kind of gravitate more towards, and my taste is rather eclectic. Like, I mean, for example, I love Midsommar, but I also really love Evil Dead. Two vastly different films. But to me, what really brings out a good film is how much you can relate to it. Like, even with like an Evil Dead, we've all been in those moments where we're just trying to go out and have a good time with our friends, and then something horrible happens. Like we've all had that happen to ourselves. Like, either the camping trip goes wrong, or it gets rained out, or something like that. So you can already immediately identify with them from that core level. Now, of course, they're getting torn apart by deadites, Dead Before Dawn, that whole thing. But like within Midsommar, we've all felt alone. We've all felt disconnected. We all crave that, to have some feeling of unity. And I think if you can relate to the character, which is one of the reasons I think Midsommar affected me so much, is, and this is horrible for me to say, but I kind of rooted for the horror guy. It was, I mean, sure, they're a cult, but they're not good people at all. But they give her support and stability that she doesn't have in her life. And you really feel for her. And you see why she makes the decision that she has. In fact, my next tattoo idea is actually her when in the May Queen outfit. And the line actually taken from the script is that she's given herself over to the joy, or the happiness only known by the insane. And I think that was, whenever I really get into a movie, it's because I can really feel something for the characters. And very few movies really kind of give you that, I've noticed. Like, especially when you go to the theater today, a lot of them are kind of cookie cutter films. They don't really give you that personalization.
It's really funny that you brought up that movie, only because Cheyenne's literally has begged me since she's seen it, which I don't know, must be 6 months now or longer, to watch it with her, right? And I remember I came home when she was watching it, but like I am the kind of person that like I can't handle gore. Like I will try my best to watch it with you, but like I just can't handle it. I'm a big wimp. I'm a big wimp. And the scene I saw was the girl, I don't know if it was a girl or a guy, and I can't remember. But anyway, they jumped off the cliff, and I guess they didn't die when they landed. And this guy with a fucking hammer comes by and just smokes him in the head. I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm out." Like,
Oh, yes.
like Cheyenne knows, like she'll
No,
joke
that
around.
is a very gory scene. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Like Cheyenne will joke around. She'll try to throw Hostel on. She'll be like, "So we're gonna watch this?" I was like, "No, no, we're not. I'm not even gonna look half the time if you put that on. I'm gonna tell you that right now." But no, just hearing you describe it from a different point of view, I'm kind of down. I'm kind of down. Story wise, that made it sound a lot more appealing than I guess when I witnessed that day. um, yeah, Evil. Yeah, Tommy was just agreeing with you. That Evil Dead.
Yeah, no, I highly recommend it. I mean, anything by Ari Aster.
Oh my god.
Tommy.
This delay.
I know. I'm so sorry, Dulac. That's what I said. I'm so sorry, buddy. All I was gonna say was that Tommy agrees with you. Evil Dead he likes both the movies and the game is fantastic. Tommy, I'm still really jealous. I have yet to try the Evil Dead game, but I would love to. I guess my other question I was gonna have for Dulac was when you mentioned Evil Dead, right? Everyone has their own like opinions when it comes to that movie. Personally, I like both of them. But then I know, let's say Cheyenne, right? She doesn't like the older Evil Deads because she does like comedy and horror movies, right? I get that, right? Sometimes that kind of takes off the thrill of that whole movie, right? But for me, I enjoy both of them. But yeah, I was just curious on your own opinions. You know, did you enjoy both versions of Evil Dead? Is there one you liked more, or are they both kind of their own separate elements? How do you view it? That's awesome. I was just literally just gonna ask you. I was like, okay, what platform is it on Tubi? That's good. Okay, I'll have to get Cheyenne then to watch it because that sounds really good.
You can get behind both of them, honestly. Like, I like a black comedy. Don't get me wrong. But I think the direction they went with the Evil Dead, the remakes, or the newest ones, is phenomenal because it taps into more of what made the Deadites scary, of course. But it really amps up, like especially in the latest one, it amps up the emotional feels of it. Because like you said, in the first ones, they're more comedic. But if I had to pick a favorite, it's actually Army of Darkness, because that is a perfect blend of what the fuck. It's just so good. And it's Bruce Campbell at his finest.
I have a Bruce Campbell story. So Bruce Campbell has been in all these great movies. He's been in Evil Dead, and he's also been in Bubba Hotep. If you've never seen that, it's great. And we love Bruce Campbell in this house. And I was at my mom's house, and she was watching Burn Notice, and I'm like, "Oh, it's Bruce Campbell," and she's like, "Yeah, the Burn Notice guy." And I'm like, "No, he's been in lots of other stuff," and she's like, "Eh." She has no idea who he is except for Burn Notice.
That's too funny. Oh, you haven't seen the newest one yet, Tommy? Yeah, I totally lost train of thought there for a second. Okay, yeah, with the first Evil Dead, that is definitely one of my favorites. Like, I love the old ones. When it comes to like the horror comedies, right? I love Shaun of the Dead and like stuff like that too. Definitely great ones. But yeah, the newest version was just, I don't know, it was gory
You've
as
got to watch Bubba Hotep then.
I definitely do. I'm gonna bookmark that one. Because yeah, I know he did a TV show,
Good.
right? Like I think there's an Evil Dead TV show now or something like that. I haven't seen that one yet either. But yeah, the newer Evil Dead movie.
Oh yeah, no, there is an Evil Dead TV show. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I thought there was. Okay, so yeah, that's another one we still have to add to our list. And the one Marie shouted out, I think it was 2 weeks ago. What is it? The Fall of the House of Usher. And then Midnight Mass, we still have to watch those ones, Shannon and myself. So excited you actually told me about that because I honestly thought
Yes.
the Haunted series was just those two, and then that was it. I was like, damn, man, they did such a good job with those. Like, why don't they have more? And you were like, there's two other things, and I was like, oh shit, nice.
We just finished Midnight Mass tonight, and I think the last two episodes are better than the rest of the series combined. They're so good.
Okay, I know Cheyenne right now is backseating me.
But
and-
Fall of the House of Usher was good the whole way through. I loved it.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, like I liked House on Haunted Hill. Like that was definitely like really, really good. I thought the second one was good, but it just I don't know, it didn't impact me as well as the first one did. Not really sure why. I mean, they were both somewhat ideas the same, right? Between ghost encounters. But yeah, I don't know. The first one was really, really good. I thought. Yeah. But anyway, I was gonna say the back seating that Cheyenne was gonna do is out of curiosity. What about American Horror Story? How do you guys feel about that one? I know I often wonder if it's Bruce Campbell that always kind of sells me on. I've thought of that. I was like, if like someone else similar did that role, would that movie still be as impactful? And I definitely don't think so. I think he took it to a new height, and that like I don't think there was anyone else that could have done it in
Oh
that timeline,
no.
right? Yeah, exactly. How about you?
I apologize. I had a little boy come in here and say hi.
That's really sweet. No worries, buddy. I was just gonna say, what about you for American Horror Story? Are you on the same boat as Marie then with that one, or do you have certain seasons you like?
Yeah, it kind of depends. It depends a bit.
Ooh, mixed. Depends on the season. Some of them I love, some of them are so drawn out and I cannot stand them.
On the season, yeah, because I think the first one, I loved the first one. I thought the first one was top tier. And then the one where they were all witches, I think it's Coven, was pretty good. And then after that, I've been kind of mid on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Django. Cause Django.
Oh, I liked
Sorry, Marie, you go right ahead.
with what am I thinking of? 1984. I like that one too.
Oh, no, that one was choice.
The
yeah.
one where they the summer camp.
Okay, sorry. So I make sure no one was saying nothing. I was gonna say I'm just with Django too, where he was saying that he never got into American Horror Story. I felt the same way too. I don't know, like it's not like there's anything bad with it. I just like I watched that first season, and like for me, I'm like the kind of person like if there's too much like sexual energy, like in a show, like I'm just kind of like okay, it's okay. Like I don't know, it always just throws me off when it's just too much in like a movie or a TV show or whatever the case might be. But sorry, Shen, very quickly, what was your two or three seasons you liked in American Horror Story?
I've only seen 3 seasons.
Okay, then what is it? Because there's a delay, so you gotta hurry up.
I like Asylum and Fiction.
You like Freak Show and Asylum? Okay, so that was your two? Okay. So that was too Cheyenne. Like she's really into the show. Like I said, she'll probably watch quite a bit more of that. Oh, sorry. I got a few more comments on here. I liked maybe half of them. Oh, okay. And then Tommy just mentioned House of 1,000 Corpses. Yes. Like you, okay, wait. I just want to make sure I understood. You watched The House of 1,000 Corpses because of something I said, Tommy, or like you just watched that on your own? Because I have definitely seen all of them. House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and these was it the Three from Hell was the last one. All fantastic movies. It was very odd points in my life when I've seen them all. Because it was very scattered, the storyline for me. But yeah, I've definitely loved them. Extremely like gross for me, right? But like I don't know, the way Rob Zombie does a horror movie, I can handle. Like it's gross, yeah, it's nasty, but it's just like the characters that he makes are just so interesting, like literally so fucking interesting. They are like genuinely bad people, right? But yet, like example, like the Devil's Rejects, he can take everything they've done and still make you feel for them. You know, I'm not going to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but by the time you get to the end of that movie, you almost feel bad for them, and it's such a weird feeling because you're like, no, like fuck that, they just killed like how many people? Like, why am I feeling bad for these guys? But like, you generally do. Like, they're just, I don't know. It's very great storytelling. Number 3 was probably my least favorite, but I still liked it. Just because it was kind of cool to see how all the characters ended up, you know, when the series came to an end. But yeah, the first 2 were fantastic. Um, Sorry, yeah, 1985 was like perfect. I love that one. Ooh, nice, nice. And then Marie was like, yeah, too much shoehorning and sex, and they go on and on to on. Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? It's too much. Sometimes it's way too much. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking it Until Dawn, like the game, but even that one, like, you know, there was just a lot like in the beginning, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's a slasher movie. They're all horny people. Like, let's get to the good part now. Oh, you watched it beforehand? Yeah, yeah. Captain Spaulding was a huge loss, I have to say. Losing him. I can't really remember what the reason was that he passed away from. But yeah, that was beyond a shame. Um yeah. Yeah, so good. American Horror Story. Well, I guess while I have a chance, I'm just gonna quickly shout it out before I interrupt anybody else. Um, Horror for me, I'm kind of like on a totally different element. Like I said, I'm not really big into gore and stuff like that. Um, Mid, minor, sorry, minor or max, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, gore is gore. Like, I don't know, I always can't handle it. But the movies I usually end up liking are just completely off the rails as far as like horror goes for most people, because they don't really, it's not really scary, but like I'm how can I say this, I'm really big into like the storytelling of it. So example, 1408 is one of my favorite horror movies. It's got, jump scares when it needs to have a jump scare, but just the entire like idea of that movie just fascinated me. Like, I literally became obsessed with it. I watched it so many times. I love the fact that this guy goes in there. Yeah, right. It's so good, and like, oh, like John is fantastic. He is just, god damn, just a great actor. Um, couldn't think of anyone better to pick for that kind of movie. And then, like Samuel Jackson, right? Just be like the hotel manager. Like, it all worked. It all worked so well. Absolutely loved it. But oh, okay. But I wanted to say that Rob Zombie actually snuck in onto the set. Wow, really? That's cool. I had no idea he did that. You just saying, Cheyenne, that Rob Zombie snuck Sid into the set, even though he wasn't cleared medically, just to like have his character do the sign off. That's awesome, and I love his line in that movie too. Because I remember me and Cheyenne got to like a memory war about it. I was like, no, that was the third movie he said this. She's like, no, it's the second movie, but it definitely was the third movie. Like when he goes into that car, he's just like, what's the matter, kid? You don't like clowns? Like, it's so good. It's so good. So good. Oh, goddamn. I love that moment. Um, Shit, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, 1408. Yeah, 1408 was definitely one of my favorites. I know we got a lot of shame thrown at me, but like, I don't care. It was the guy from Seventh Heaven, and he was a hunk as far as I'm concerned, and he rocked that role so good. Was Boogeyman. Okay, Boogeyman is so bad that when you Google it, you will have to search a little bit to find that movie now. Like, I was like, God damn, it's just a shot to the heart. Like, nobody liked this movie. But I thought it was so good. Oh, right, yeah, like he really put in like the horror for clowns. Speaking of clowns too, I would love to enjoy the movie Terrifier. It just seems like it's such an iconic character right now, but I can't get into it. That's obviously another one that just grosses the hell out of me. I tried to watch it with Cheyenne. I literally was just like in a ball, just kind of like barely looking at the TV. I was like, no, we got halfway. I can't go any further. Oh, sorry, Django. A lot popped up there. Not a true horror story, but the sci-fi movie Event Horizon. Okay, I've never heard of that one. I know it might be hard in chat, Django. But what is that one about? Oh, it's so good. Like 2 is even better, but it takes the gore. Yeah. I feel like it would be 2. Like that one kind of interests me, Terrifier, and so did the VHS ones. I know Cheyenne's tried to show me those. I don't think we really got through that one either. I think I got grossed out. But that idea of like the VHS tapes, like going through them, like that was I thought was really neat. I thought that'd be a really cool way to do a horror movie. So I got 1408, Boogeyman was another one of my favorites. I can't really say it is, but I'm gonna kind of throw it in there because it's not many opportunities I'll probably get to shout this movie. Oh, it was super good talking to you, Marie. Thanks for hopping in. Thank you for being so patient too. I'm really sorry about all the technical problems. But is the movie Seven? I love Seven. I thought that was another really. I mean, it's got gross elements, right? Like kind of on the edge of the first Saw movie. You know, we're gonna go there. Definitely Saw would be a fourth one for one of my favorite horror movies. I'm not gonna even count like 2, 3, 4. Like I'm just counting the very first Saw movie because, like, let's face it, when that movie came out, that was so unique. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't much like that out there. Minus Hostel, which I can't remember if Hostel came out before or after that one. But you know, like just that whole idea of Jigsaw and like everything he put together and all these traps and everything. Like it was just I don't know, it was just so cool. The really neat part I found out is that I think was it James Woe? I can't remember. That's the director's name? Juan, thank you. But he actually put together Billy, the little Saul doll. So that's why in the first movie it kind of looks like it's handmade. Then after a while, right, it gets obviously better touch ups and all that. But it was just a little prop that he made himself. But yeah, like the whole freaking movie was just so cool, so cool. Like that twist at the end. I mean, really old movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm sorry. But when he fucking gets up, I was like, what? Like that guy was alive? It was just that was so cool. A lot of parts obviously Mindful looked away on, but that was definitely a really, really good one. Sorry, I got a whole bunch here in chat. Okay, so Django, it's a spaceship with experimental drive. It ends up crossing dimensions and bringing something back to our space. Ooh. Okay, I like it. Got the alien vibes. After watching with my BFF, I sat in the car in the dark and just sat there stunned. Oh, wow. That is a great kind of movie. When you can get that feeling at the end of it, like, oh, I love those moments. Yeah, so after Saw, so I got them all. 1408, obviously, yeah, like I said, I think they're called the Fireflies. Yeah, the Firefly family. So House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and the Three to Hell. Those ones are definitely up there with me. Like I said, the Evil Dead remakes. I haven't seen the second one yet, but the first one was really good. Blair Witch was another one that I still respect a lot. I think that was a really great movie when it came out. I think here's the other thing. The other thing that impresses me about like a good movie is not only what they've done in the movie, but what they do outside the movie. So, for those that might not have known, when the Blair Witch Project was finished, right, they actually had those actors kind of disappear for a little bit, just to kind of add that fear of like, wow, maybe this actually was fucking found footage, right? And it created some hype. Hey, remember, this is back when like the internet wasn't at its peak yet. You know what I mean? People weren't really researching stuff. So yeah, like that was a really cool idea to do after that movie. The other one I think that that really captured what the Blair Witch captured was Paranormal Activity. Again, you know, it wasn't like scary, like terrified or like that. But it was just the energy and the hype around that movie. Again, you know, like people were 50-50 on it, right? Just like they were at the Blair Witch. Like, was that real? Wasn't that real? Like, you know, like, holy shit, I kind of believe it. Or like, no, it's all just a movie, right? Like, you weren't really entirely sure. And I love movies that could do that. I love when there is not only the effect from watching the movie, but that ripple effect, right, of everybody else. Okay, sorry. Brewster or Duloc, you showed us a VHS/99. It's called Ozzy's Dungeon. It is a gross out. I also second Django in recommending Event Horizon. Oh, you see it too? Okay. It is great. Want to leave a bit of horror trivia before I game with the child? Okay. Toby Hopper, the director of The Chainsaw, actually thought he would get a G rating. What? Really? That's crazy. That wow. 'Cause, I mean, like, even the old, like the very first Texas Chainsaw is still really gory. Um, I thought it was still kind of gory, wasn't it? Wasn't the first Chainsaw kind of gory shit?
Oh, my opinion.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm a wimp, so maybe that's all. Yeah, that is crazy. Django brought up a good point. Yeah, can you imagine all the kids just popping in on there? It's only 2 seeds. Wow. Okay, I did not know that.
Well, you haven't seen it all.
I feel like you've tried to make me watch it though.
No.
Okay. Lots of bones and bodies though. That's cool. I did watch who was the one we watched it? Because we always mix up the Chainsaw movies. Who was the one where like he has the birthday party and he gets the chainsaw and they're like, you know, like, do it, do it, do it.
I just never heard of Leatherface.
Leatherface. Yeah, that one was fucking cool. That one was really, really cool. Again, right, like it was the story that got to me. I loved how what was it? They escaped the mental asylum, wherever it was, and like the whole time you thought it was that motherfucker, and then it was like the other guy, and I was like, what? What? That's Leatherface? That part really got to me. And even that beginning scene was pretty fucked up. Like that was pretty, that was a messed up birthday party. Oh shit. Yeah, that was a good one. Same with Rob Zombie's versions of Halloween. Michael Myers. Okay. My favorite one though, like out of all those killers, is always gonna be Ghostface. I don't know what it is, but I fucking love Scream. I could watch Scream even with all the kills and all that stuff and not get phased by it, but I'm so like obsessed with Ghostface. I love him as a killer. Like it's such a simple concept, but it works. It works so well. Like he's actually like if I saw that, you know, into my place, I'd be like, I'm fucked. I'm dead. I mean, I probably think the same thing with Michael Myers or Leatherface or Freddy. But I don't know, just something about Ghostface that's just so good. I'm really excited. I still haven't seen the newest one, but I did finally watch. I think it was 6, where they kind of like remastered or remade it, whatever you want to call it. That one was fucking good. Like I don't care. I thought that was fucking awesome. They went all the way back to the very beginning, right back to that same house. Was it number 5 for that one? Okay, so sorry, number 5. But yeah, I thought that was really, really fucking good. Like, yeah. And then seeing Dewey die, that shattered my heart. But I like best fucking way to kill him though. Like, it's been an honor. And I was like, oh. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned Freddy versus Jason Django because I have a very shit opinion to spread about that movie. But I think you'll enjoy it then. Sorry. It's been a blast tonight. Thanks for having me. I have to say, well, Ghostface is great. Freddy, yeah, no, Freddy is really good. Hands down. Hands down. That is a solid choice. I cannot argue that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm rewatching them. Freddy makes me laugh. Like he's so cool. You know what I mean? The fact that he just uses the word bitch anytime he wants, I love it. Best fucking villain ever for just like dropping swears. Okay, Jason is in Mortal Kombat X and is great. Oh, he is? Okay, I thought he was in a Mortal Kombat. I just wasn't sure which one. Thanks for letting me know, Tommy. But yeah, so Django. So here's my thing. So I remember watching Freddy versus Jason when I was like a teenager, and I was like, just excited because it was Freddy and Jason, right? Like, I mean, that was back when you had like Jason in space and Leprechaun in space. Like you had all those cheesy little knockoffs. You had Alien versus Predator, which was kind of cool. Not as great as it could have been, but still a cool movie. But yeah, so Freddy vs. Jason, I was like, okay, this is exciting. I remember the action scenes were cool. I remember the lines were cheesy and great. Like I didn't really pay attention, I guess, to the storyline, and I was really just kind of focused on like the action of it all, right? So anyway, fast forward in time, Cheyenne and I ended up rewatching this 2 weeks ago. Props where props are due, okay? That movie does a fantastic fucking job of combining those two random characters and making an entire story arc about them. Like, fucking mind-blowing, okay? So, first off, if you don't know this, the last Friday movie before Freddy vs. Jason came out was actually set up for that movie. So what happens is at the end, Jason dies, right? Yada yada. But you see his mask on the sand, and his mask gets pulled down by Freddy Krueger's claw. And then, like that's how the movie ends. So that was done on purpose to set up Freddy versus Jason in the way that the Nightmare on Elm Street ended before that movie came out. Freddy went to hell. So now, fast forward to Freddy versus Jason, the next movie to take place in this series. Freddy, gives you the entire backlog. And I love how they do it. They literally went through all of his movies he had at that point, right? The highs where he's killing everyone, the lows where he gets knocked out. He explains that he's in hell now, which matches the storyline of how the previous one ended, right? And he goes through hell and he ends up finding sorry, I know I'm really excited. Actually, I was like, take a breath, man. He ends up finding Jason, right? And obviously portrays his mother, brings him back to life. Even where Jason died was similar to the location in the last Friday before Freddy vs. Jason came out. So everything matched story-wise. So right there, I was like, fucking kudos. That's impressive. That is how you create a versus universe, right? And then like just going through that whole movie, like everything was believable. Like Freddy had to bring Jason back to hell to create a fear so that everyone could fear Freddy again and get his name going. If his name starts going, he becomes more powerful. I was like, okay, there was no really like, I mean, it's cheesy, right? Because it's a horror movie, but there really was no like extra cheese on that sauce. As far as like bringing Jason back to life, or why Freddy needs Jason to begin with, and then like as it progresses, obviously Jason is a killing machine. His reason why Freddy ends up hating him makes perfect sense. Like seriously, just if you haven't had the chance to rewatch that movie and kind of like listen to the story, like yeah, it's a horror movie. Okay, don't expect fucking amazing storyline here, but for what they had to work with, they literally could have just gave us those two dudes fucking duking it out the whole movie. But they actually took effort and made a story behind it all. And yeah, beyond impressed how that all worked out. The only criticism I will say that entire movie where I thought that they kind of dropped the ball was when they are talking to the police officers. It makes sense that everyone in Elm Street would know who Freddy Krueger is. What didn't make sense was how the same police officer knew who Jason was. Because there's a second part later on where they go back to the police and they're explaining Jason. And yeah, the guy is like, shh, we don't talk about him either. And it's like, well, how would you know about Crystal Lake? I'm assuming Crystal Lake is pretty far from Elm Street, even though in the movie when they do their travel between those two locations is not that far away. But I'm assuming to be a decent distance where those two areas would never have, never have known both serial killers or monsters, or everyone refer to them as. But yeah, story wise, very impressive actually. Props are due. I think that did a way better job than Alien versus Predator did. I think that they actually really took their time. The fact when you back search this, right, and you see that they took the time in the previous movies to set this movie up tells you like how important this was for them as far as the storyline goes between these two killers. So yeah, it's really sucks that we'll never get a Freddy versus 2, especially with the way that one ended. But it is what it is. Still, I think that movie deserved a lot more respect than obviously what it got. That's my long tangent anyway about Freddy vs. Jason. I love it. It's one of my favorite ones to watch. Yeah, you should take if you want a drinking game, take a drinking game. Sorry, every time Freddy says the word bitch, he says it so much in that movie. It's so good. It's so funny. Welcome to my world, bitch. Oh god. And the death scenes. The death scenes are so cool. The fucking coolest scene ever. Like, it was so cool. I had to stop it, rewind it, and say, Cheyenne, you need to sit down and watch this happens. Jason is okay. So basically, there's a teen party in like this cornfield. Jason's doing his thing, right? Just fucking slaughtering people. He ends up getting to this one guy, and basically the guy throws pretty much like 100% alcohol on him, and then throws a lighter at him. Jason just lights on fire. Any other part in a Jason series, this would have been like the end, right? This is when Jason's gonna die. This motherfucker just fucking on fire, pulls out his machete, and like the machete's on fire, he's on fire, just fucking cuts him in half. I was like, that's a good scene. You guys did that very, very well. Like, that was fucking badass in that moment. And even the part prior to it, because the guy that throws the alcohol on him has a friend that he hangs out with. Again, they could have been over cheesy. They could have ripped the guy's head off. I mean, Jason could have done anything. Okay, he's super powerful. But they do the nice, clean, twist your head so far around that it goes, full circle around your body. I was like, that's a neat death. That's a good way to kill him. Anyway, that's my end of Freddy vs. Jason. I'm big fan. If you haven't watched it, please do. If you have seen it before, didn't think the story was great, rewatch it with a fresh set of eyes. I guarantee you will be more impressed this time with the storyline. Let's get back to chat here, though. So, might have done that with Alien versus Predator movies before Alien versus Predator. That is a good... I'll have to look that one up, Tommy, because I am curious. You might be very right on that one. I know those movies came out somewhat similar, but I think you're right. Maybe Alien vs. Predator was afterwards, which then is even more of a shame because Alien vs. Predator just pissed me off. Okay, this is like the other version of how they could have done that kind of movie, right? They literally just had those two things fight each other. The story didn't make sense for the entire lore of Aliens itself. Like Predators, they didn't really touch too much on it, so you can go to town. You can make that as fun as you want to. And instead of like making the Predator storyline make sense with Aliens, they were like, no, let's just fucking scrap the entire lore of Aliens and fucking just, now make it sound like the Predators own them this entire time and they just put them in people. Like, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to everything that was already like established with Aliens. So yeah, still very cool fight scenes, loved it all, but yeah, just kind of the story really pissed me off in that one. And then sorry, the other thing you said was Jason was stealing Freddy's kills, or weren't fearing Freddy as much as Freddy needed the fear for his power. Yes, you are absolutely correct. So basically, Freddy's goal was to get his power back. His other goal that you're kind of touching on there, Tommy, was he also wanted to kill, the actual, descendants of those from Elm Street, right? So there's always the parents' kids. He had to kill the kids. And unfortunately, Jason was taking a few of them out and stealing those glory kills from him. But yeah, really, really cool. I kind of watched a little bit of Friday the 13th, but I guess I never really understood Freddy's weakness itself. So rewatching that and I was like, oh, okay. So if you don't believe in him or you could ignore him completely, he loses all his power. Okay, one last thing about that movie. Another really fucking cool scene for Freddy is when they're in the asylum, right, where everyone's kind of being held captive, and they're trying to basically put them in comas where they can never dream. I love the scene where everyone's like sitting up who's supposed to be in a coma, and they're all fucking like singing that little Freddy song. You're like, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like that was a really awesome scene too. That movie was good. That movie did some really good scenes. Yeah, sorry. I had to get that one out. That was my big one. I even told JW, I was like, fuck buddy, when I go on there, Gary, for my shit opinion of Freddy versus Jason, because it's gonna be a banger. um so sorry, it's kinda disappointing. I was hoping I'd be able to have other people give their opinions. I hate being the hog of the spotlight here. But other thing I wanted to go on, because obviously every year that I've done streaming, if you don't know, October is my month of horror. I just play horror games the entire month. So on and off stream, that's all I'll play. I am at that point now where I am like horrored out. Like I wish I didn't have to keep going right now, but I still got whatever it is, a whole other week to go through. But I will say this: every year, people suggest games to me, and I get a chance to try all these games, and I probably never would. Last year was Dead Space. Tommy probably remembers that one. That definitely took the cake for me. I thought that was one of the best horror games I've ever played. Jimmy, where respect is due, my friend. I know you and me are going to have our own podcast topic about this, but I'm going to lightly touch on it because I really want to give props out to Jimmy for suggesting this series to me. Being adamant about talking to me about it for like a whole year. But Resident Evil has surprised me in more ways than I thought it ever would. I never had a low opinion of Resident Evil. I knew it was a big series. I knew it was a big deal. I knew that it's taken a lot of different directions, etc., right? But actually playing it, like even the very first one, like I was telling to Tommy when he was there, I'm blown away. I'm blown away by this game. When you think about the timeline that PlayStation had, like all the different games that came out, this game was so impressive for such like a short span. Because I think the first one is what, maybe 15 hours, right? Like most of them are pretty fast paced. Yeah. Tommy showed it. Yeah, Tommy just showed out Dead Space 1 and 2. Yeah, those were great picks, Tommy. Those are definitely one of my favorite games. I will definitely say Dead Space has now become one of my favorite games. But yeah, so with Resident Evil, it was the fact that I took a pathway and I assumed that's how it always play out. And I think Tommy was there when it happened to me. I took a different pathway because I ended up dying, right? And I had to go back. And I went through, let's say, the left-hand side, and the entire scenario in that hallway changed. And I was like, what just happened? I was like, for example, the dogs are supposed to break through the window. In this other way you went, the dogs actually just cracked the window. And I was like, that's fucking insane. Like, that's so cool. It even went further with Barry, right? So there were certain doors you could go through to trigger Barry to talk to you. Which I thought, okay, that's part of the story, right? That's where it ends. Then no, like Tommy and Jimmy were helping me out with the shotgun part. So if I didn't talk to Barry, let's say this one particular part, I could get his help escaping a room to grab a shotgun. If I did talk to Barry, I was basically fucked. Like, I don't even know how I would have got that shotgun out of there. The game allowed me to play, so obviously there was a way I could have figured it out. Maybe there was something I was supposed to put into the holder that held the original shotgun. I don't know. So I thought it was just that. But then there was a third thing that happened with Barry. So there was a hallway I ended up passing where I think I startled him and he's reading paperwork. I noticed that scene didn't trigger if I did, again, the very first action with Barry and just talk to him in the lobby area. So all really cool. Like, just really, really cool. I like how they thought of all these different scenarios and how someone might play their game for a PlayStation 1. Like, there are PlayStation 5 games that don't even do that now. You know what I mean? Like, it is crazy to think about the amount of effort they put into that game. Resident Evil 4 has been the other one that I played. See, when I got the broken shotguns. Like, that's impressive. That really is impressive that they thought of all this. I mean, I'm really excited to play that game and finish it because I want to like go through the rest and just hear you guys go like, oh, Mindful, if you had done this, this would have happened instead. And it almost makes me want to go back to the previous save just to see the other version of it, like, I don't know. I get it. I get why people can play this game multiple times now. It all makes sense to me. So again, I know you're not here, Jimmy. You got some dad stuff going on right now, but huge shout out to you, my man. You definitely suggested one of my games of the year. I'm really excited at the end of the year. We do our Basement Gaming Awards show, and we do our last recap podcast, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, I literally had a yawn coming out of me. Yeah, because that's going to be one of the games that I'm going to talk about as far as my game of the year goes. Resident Evil 4, I get it. It is different. Now play Resident Evil 1. I can see why there was such a mixed opinion on it. I still like it. I still think Resident Evil 4 is a really good game, but I think it's good as an action game. So I get why Jimmy kind of really tried to emphasize that difference between it, because it is really different, right, from the first one or the second one or even the third one. But it's still a fantastic game, and I'm still very intrigued to see what's gonna play out for Leon in that one. And the bad guy was pretty cool too so far that I met. I know there's a different bad guy that I'll meet later on, but the first one I met was really neat. Until Dawn, like I said, I like Until Dawn literally because of the butterfly mechanic. I think that is so cool. Yeah, Leon, help! I really like that butterfly mechanic, and I almost wish more games would do that. Like, I think that would be such a cool RPG element to add in. You know what I mean? Like, for those who are not familiar, basically, the idea of it is everything you do creates a different scenario, right? So the butterfly wings will appear on the screen, and then you know that whatever decision you just made literally affected the entire game, from characters to how scenarios will play out, etc., etc. So that's really freaking cool. I also liked the therapist element. As I'm playing more, I'm kind of wondering if he really is a therapist. So don't spoil that for me yet, because I haven't got that far. But yeah, I like how my conversations with him altered the game so that it was, tailored towards my fears or whatever it was that I picked out at the time. I really thought about it, and I thought, how cool would it be to take that butterfly mechanic, that impact where it affects every character, every outcome in your game, and add the nemesis system into that as well. I think those two put together would be one fucking powerful game, let me tell you. Because imagine not only having a bad guy kill you, remember that he killed you, but then also, because of the butterfly mechanic, have that death that you just had occur completely alter your game now. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it's changed entire, like, let's, for sake of argument, let's say the orcs. Let's say it's changed entire orcs tribe on how they view you, how they look at you, how they know about you, or even like expanding upon that, right? An entire like kingdom or world, or like just it'd be so cool. I think there's a lot that those two would benefit from one another. So yeah, I mean, I would really, really, really like to see that one. Yeah, I haven't tried 2 or 3 yet, but I know from like many different reviews at this point and talking to many people telling me that you are definitely on the ball there. I don't know why I'm starting so much. Mass Effect 1 and 2 has definitely been people's all-time favorites. I hear number 2 is like the best experience you can have with Mass Effect. I'll have to try it out to know for sure. But yeah, 3 just gets shit on. Like apparently 3 is just terrible. Trying to think, okay, what other kind of games did I play? You know what? Shout out to mobile game, The Walking Dead. I think it's called Path of Survivors. Let me just take a pic here. No, Walking Dead Road of Survivors. I downloaded that one for the mobile phone because I really needed a lot of different games to play because I was getting kind of bored. That's pretty good for a mobile game. It's pretty decent. It is your basic like build a base, go exploring with your survivors, and then survivors can have team members with them, right? Oh my god, I'm drinking coffee and I'm still yawning like a bitch. But yeah, like like you have your main survivors, like whatever their names are, Ricky, I don't know, the Walking Dead characters. It's okay. Like I said, it's okay. It's nothing to write home about, but yeah, it's pretty decent RPG if you want to play that on your phone. What else have I played? Ooh, State of Decay. I know coffee won't save me apparently. State of Decay is really, really good. I mentioned it before already, but I kind of regret not being a part of that hype when it came out because I enjoyed that game a lot more than I thought I was going to. I liked the mechanics behind it. I had my first night with a horde attacking, and that was hard. That was actually really difficult. I was not prepared at all for the horde, so I think that's why it was so damn difficult. But it was still like the whole game's been a lot of fun. Trying to think, what else did I play on the PlayStation? I think it's just been a lot of Resident Evil this month, in all honesty. I had Bloodborne. Bloodborne, like, I will never give up. I like the Souls games. I'm terrible apparently at them, but I love them. Like Dark Souls, I can handle. Like I'm making progress. I'm cutting my way through. But Bloodborne, like I don't know what it is. It's just a whole different challenge. But I will. I'm gonna go back to it. I wanna play some more of it. I want to understand those mechanics and make some progress in that game. No, State of. You know what? No, I think you are right. State of Decay is an online game, Tommy, but you can play it offline, which is what I was doing. But I could totally see it being an online multiplayer game. On the Switch, I didn't play too much. There was whatchamacallit. Hey, I'm drawing here, buddy. Okay, I'm drawing name blanks here. Amnesia, the collection. I've been playing a little bit of that one. I've also been playing some Hollowed 2, which is okay. It's fine line on horror, definitely. The creatures in the game are horror related, but like the entire game itself is kind of like you're in this mech suit and you're just shooting things down. So there's horror elements to it, but it's more like just mech action. And it's kind of cool. Like you're in a cyber suit, I guess is the best way to say it. And then, what's that other game with the painting? I can't believe I'm actually reading the name of it. Layers of Fear. I just recently started playing some Layers of Fear, which is obviously a fantastic time. I love Layers of Fear. And yeah, that's pretty much been my month as far as horror games. Like I said, Resident Evil took up a lot of my time. State of Decay took up a lot of my time. Um, right now, Until Dawn is probably, sadly, the only game I'll actually finish. Good night, Tommy. You have an excellent night. I'm sorry, I did see your Wednesday comment. I don't know because I have to work Wednesday, unfortunately, so I don't know if I'll be streaming. But maybe Thursday, Friday, if I can squeeze it in, I will definitely be doing a stream then. I hope you have a great night, buddy. Always lots of love for you, my friend. Don't forget, November, have some of your games saved that you want me to play, and I will gladly play any game you want me to. You are going to be very excited, Tommy. Z-Chick shouted out this one, but in November, she wants to see Cheyenne play It Takes Two. So we're gonna finally try out that game together. It's so funny she said that too because I was literally just watching a clip of you and Z-Chick playing that one and just having a good laugh. Because it's so funny watching her play that. So hopefully, I figured that'd make you excited. Hey, at least we have you and Z-Chick that know what you're doing. So if we get stuck, we can be like, "Hey guys, how do we get past this?" But yeah, I'm super excited to try out that one for November. But yeah, you have a great night, Tommy. I know you probably have to do something in the morning anyway. So you have a good one, buddy. Um, yeah. I don't really think there was any other horror games that I kind of dabbled into this month. I really thought there was another one for the Xbox, but no, I have just played a lot of State of Decay. There was going to be Bioshock, but unfortunately I wasn't able to stream that. I'll probably will still play that in my off time. But yeah, sucks I can't do that for a live because that'd be really cool. Alrighty, well, yeah, sorry, this didn't really play out the way I was hoping it would have. So because this one didn't work out 100% like I wanted to, the next podcast is going to be on Halloween itself. And for one of the rare times in the podcast, I'm actually going to have it be nothing about gaming. And this podcast episode for next week will be anybody's horror stories that they want to share. So it could be favorite campsite story. It could be, whatever favorite horror story that they've seen in a movie, a TV show, a book, whatever the case is. Or it could just be their own personal experience. But I thought it'd be kind of cool. Halloween night, right? We're all just kind of sharing spooky stories. I have a few that I would love to share. One that I've literally kept with me this entire time. For a conversation I was going to have with your mom, the streamer. But I think I'm going to save one of them and I'm going to use this one for the podcast. But yeah, hopefully you guys have some exciting ones. I'm going to try to get that hype going on Thursday and just keep tweeting about it and putting out posts on YouTube so that we can get as much stories as possible because I want to read out lots for this one. And pray to God Discord doesn't act up because that will ruin storytelling. Definitely. I like it. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your all's neighborhood. Django, I feel like you have some pretty good horror stories, so I'm definitely excited if you're able to hop on that day. So next Tuesday, 7 p.m., definitely we will be doing that one. We have quite a bit of people though, so before I go ahead and there was no way I was going to save myself with that one. I was literally going to say before I go ahead and jack off, and that's not all what I meant to say. Before I go ahead and hop off. There's the right terminology I was hoping for. Let's go see who's online. It's what? Wow, did I never look at the words of Thriller? Yeah, here, let's go ahead and let's see. Oh, that's not on the home screen. Who's online right now for a quick read? Okay, so I got the Juggernaut. He's online. And by the way, whenever I do these raids, I know Django's done it before. But yeah, you guys are always more than welcome to shout out someone that you might think deserves a raid. I'm always down. It doesn't just have to be people from Basement Gaming. I just usually pick that on the default. But yeah, if you guys ever have anybody that you think personally should get a raid, by all means, shout it out. Oh, Vincent Price's model. Oh yeah, duh.